I had to sleep with my sister to prove to my parents she was obsessed with me. It all started when she would hide under my skirt. She constantly challenged me to climb an old treehouse, which I eventually did, only to realize she was looking up my skirt as I climbed. I screamed at her to stop, but she acted as if I was imagining something disgusting. The whole situation felt incredibly strange, but I decided not to bring it up again. A few months later, I caught her going through my phone, looking at my photos. Naturally, this led to a big fight, and our parents got involved. She claimed she was just trying to delete an unflattering photo I had taken of her. My parents concluded we were both at fault. While there was nothing inappropriate on my phone, the fact that she was snooping through it felt deeply unsettling. 2 years later, when we moved to a new house, it turned out that my sister and I would share the same bathroom. She pretended to be annoyed, but I caught the smile on her face. She never knocked when I was in the shower. Instead, she would just check if the door was locked. Inevitably, the worst happened. One day, I forgot to lock the door and she barged in. Luckily, I was still dressed. I told my parents about it, but instead of telling her to knock, their solution was for me to use the guest bathroom downstairs. Just when I thought things couldn't get worse, they did. Recently, after a family barbecue, I noticed that the pants I had changed out of before the guests arrived were on the floor instead of in the laundry basket. The next morning, when I started doing laundry, I realized the underwear I had worn with those pants was missing. I wanted to storm into her room, shouting her name, but I knew it would be pointless. The idea of confronting her and having her manipulate me again was exhausting. I was certain my younger sister was guilty, but without concrete evidence, I couldn't do anything about it. A few days later, I noticed more of my white and black underwear had gone missing from my dresser. This time, I pretended not to notice and acted as though nothing was wrong. That's when I decided to take a sneakier approach. I started thinking of ways to provoke her into doing something incriminating that I could record and show our parents. The perfect opportunity came when my parents left for another city to attend a wedding. That day, I put my plan into action. The most effective idea I had was to pretend I was in the bathroom and stay inside wearing only the bottom of my bikini, waiting for her to barge in, as she always did. As expected, she barged in without knocking. But her reaction surprised me. She stood there, staring at me like a wolf eyeing its prey, defensive yet scared at the same time. This time, I handled it differently. I didn't scream or push her away. I didn't make a scene. Instead, I locked eyes with her, smirked provocatively, and asked, "Do you like what you see?" She froze for a moment before saying, "Of course, I've always wanted this." In that moment, I knew my plan had worked.